Thanks for inviting me. I'll try to take this in English, but as I said, when I took my diploma here in 2000, I said my English is really, really bad. And actually, I haven't spoken since then. You have to stop me if I speak more Norwegian words than English. My name is Atle. I am from Stavanger. Actually, I'm from Bergen, but I have an architect office in Stavanger. In 2008, Stavanger will become the cultural capital in Norway. And in the 2008 organization, there's something that's called Norwegian Wood. And they fund a building with wood in projects. And they made several different competitions last year. And we were lucky to win the main competition. This was quite a big international competition. I'm going to talk mostly about the project, but I think it's my privilege to say some words about us and also about Stavanger. So this competition we did, we joined forces with a Danish office called Art. They're based in Aarhus, Denmark, and actually they have a funny way of working. They get their projects from winning competitions, and that's the only way. So I think they have a rate of 52% or something. So for us, in many ways, the right team to join, but we were quite equal, and these are also old friends of some people in our office. This is just a little bit of them, because I also have to present something that they have done, not just us, because we're two teams in this. This is us. We're a little office situated in Stavanger. That's on the southwest coast of Norway. We were established in 2003, and we are ambitious, but we don't want to be kind of egocentric and arrogant. And very many have a lot of fun with our name, because Ludo is actually a name of a game we play in Norway, where you don't need much intelligence in anyway. But actually Ludo is more of the playful thing. So we want to be ambitious, but we also want to be playful in a way. Actually, when we had established this office in 2003, a couple of months later on, I read in Dagbladet, one of the main newspapers in Norway, an article about the new youth generation. Quite interesting, because nowadays the youth generation are people in their 30s, just like us. And everybody is more into friends than family. And everybody has a special gift. They're extremely talented, and they're just waiting to be discovered. So, okay, there we go. But in a way, we never wanted to become a kind of a niche office. We wanted to be an office that didn't just do buildings for rich people. We wanted to do all from regulation to small building, industrial building, offices, big complex of housing and so on. And I think that's also what we've done. But I remember actually in in your exam here in Bas, one of the criteria is that you have to be engaged in the questions of society. And actually, we think that is a very important part, because in architecture, when you build something, you always also take something. So I'll come back to that. This is the 4 of us in the office. Actually, I just have to show the main architect for this project, which is not me, actually, but Pat Ahosa, which also has gone to this school and was finished here in 1998. At the time, where a lot more people, when we made this, actually the female in the middle was just helping us in summertime, but it was in a way our female alibi representing the company or the office. But 1st of October, we are going to be about 10 people in our office. Just going to show a few examples which shows some of the things we're doing. Like every other architect office nowadays, we have too much to do. We're building too much in many ways. And what we don't do is take pictures of the project. So that's too bad, but that's how it is. The first one I showed was actually a Rockbottom house, a house from the 60s, which we rebuilt. This is commercial buildings, cheap buildings. This is also a little bit bigger apartment blocks, where we have to get the developers with us, and we have to compete on the same market price, actually. So in the end, they always think about the money, but we try to get it a bit further on. And all these houses are made in wood. I have to talk about wood because we're going to talk about the Norwegian wood project in the end. And we also do it for the biggest commercial developers. And we mean that actually you have to make a move towards them also, not just for the wealthy and rich, but also for the allmue. This machine is a bit slow. This is just showing a summer house, which is made in wood. Actually, I'm showing this because we're going to use many of the same materials in the seal shell project. In our office, we say that our spare time, we should have some other interest in architecture. If they're related or not doesn't matter. For example, Mikael, the other owner, is very much into painting, drawing, and also photography. And he has been on the Rastland since the exhibition, which is each autumn, with some of his work. And he's very into naive drawings and paintings. Actually, it's very good. It's very good to draw, but this looks like more children's play with the drawings. We also won a competition in Trondheim about decoration, new school, or school, I think it was a high school, where we have 150 pieces of different pictures and paintings and so on. So this is just examples of that. The other guys in the office is into film and into textiles and so on. But most of the time we work with architecture. I'm going to take a little bit about Stavanger, where we work and where the Silesja project is situated. But Stavanger is in Rogaland County. I think you're from the same. We'll come back to that. And you have very various landscape in the area. You have against the sea very nice beaches and flat landscape, Jæren. And you have Rifylke with deep shores and high and steep mountains. We get a lot of variation there. And when we began working with this project, we got actually inspired from a local but well-known poet, Arne Garborg. He was from Jæren, and we in a way transformed his language into our motto for the competition, which is called in Norwegian innanfor, utanfor, and in English that's inside, the outside. And the outside is the rough coastline, Jæren, beautiful but rough. And he was talking about the people living inside, innanfor. And therefore, we could get all the way down to Stavanger. But Stavanger is, for us, a city which is in very many ways interested very into the future. It's the oil capital of Norway. There's very much money there. People are not so much into history as, for example, here in Berlin. And that's why I, in a good and bad way, call Stavanger a wannabe city. Because everybody wants to show their status. Not everybody, but very many. Good jobs, nice car, and of course, nice office buildings and nice housing. That is both good and bad, because most of them don't know actually what they want. So they give it into the hands of the architects, but then you get a hell of a lot of responsibility, because actually if we're talking about the society and things like that, you have to be aware. But we can, in many ways, benefit on that. This is a little model, a body model of the Sireskjær project, which is situated on Sireskjær. That is in the east side of town. This is Vågen. This is the marketplace. Here's the center of town. Actually, Stavanger, they say, is the largest wooden house city in northern Europe. That's because of these small, anyway, family housing buildings on this hill. As in every other city, it's beginning to be quite dense. So the building projects now for housing situated here on the east side. And here you see the fjord coming in, Vågen, and inside here you see towards the fjords and Rifylke, where there are sweet mountains and actually beautiful landscape. But the sun conditions are of course not the same as on the west side. But all the new building areas for actually quite big apartment buildings is on the east side. I'm going to show you a couple of examples from the old days. Because when we went into this project, we didn't like all the new things that were coming up of housing. So we looked towards the seafront houses here, with their irregularity and wonky form. Wonky is, in Scottish anyway, is a vindskjær, or twisted the houses by the wind. You can see. I don't know if you use wonky in English.
Yes.
Okay. It reminds me of another word, but so I was afraid. But we tried also to find examples that is in town today, but they are in many ways drowning. So the landmarks of Stavanger and actually the contact with the sea is, in my eyes, is disappearing. So we wanted this old seafront houses into a new form, transform it. And we also have these Danes. You know, they're very much into the mountains at first. For us, this is natural, but then it's in a way astonishing. So this is into your home in a way. Very nice landscape, and actually I think your computer crashed. Jeg ser at den sliter litt med. Okay, some technical problems.
You can tell us if these things people and you have been into reading or
What?
on the photographer, or have they been at themselves on the air and
Yes, we took sightseeing with the Danes, of course, and we've been there many times for ourselves to see the variations in the landscape, which is very, very nice. Actually, I don't like sun as much, but when you go 10 minutes further, it's really, really good. Okay, I hope we don't. If you. But
han fandt nogle andre filmer for at se.
okay. I hope it wasn't the pictures, the images good job. No, it's not like that. No. Very, very many pictures.
Ja, det var man ikke. Det var en masse.
Okay.
Kanskje.
Well, actually, we lost, I think, 10 pictures. The most important part with of me talking about Stavanger. But actually, when I was talking about the seafront houses, the important thing there is that they are disappearing. It's not many left, and they are going further into the land because the seaside is filled with stone, and we build the roads and everything there, and new housing projects. And the latest project in Stavanger, big project in the middle, is situated in a place called Valberget. In the old days, when we were entering Stavanger, you had landmarks, and in the middle of Stavanger you have a little, in a way, a hill. And on top of that you have a tower. That was very important for Stavanger in the old days as a landmark when you're entering from the seaside. Now they build a big housing project, which does that. The only thing you can see is the top of the tower. This is, I don't know actually where we are now, because there are too many pictures gone here. So,
De forsvinner jo ikke bare.
it's not my computer.
Nei, man kan ikke finne en annen computer.
It's a Macintosh.
Hæ?
It's a Macintosh.
Hva du trenger en Mac?
Nei, jeg har ikke overgang.
Du trenger en Mac, og det der er en Mac du har der.
Okay, I have to make the best out of it.
Det er en PDF-greier du viser.
Jo.
Da kan vi kjøre det på sånn her.
Jeg har ikke overgang til.
Jeg skjønner ikke det.
Ja, det er tavler, nei.
Ja.
Det er smart litt.
Ja, jeg skal se.
No. But I don't know if there are many more. Did you check out if there are many
He had a house here, and then he said we have a big half of the house, and then we want to have a bigger house. That this part of his, it tried to make a transformation about form, and we wonder, is this about people, or is it about something else? And then he said Valberg, which is the highest mountain when you come into the harbor, Stavanger, and then it's going down again, and here we have the cathedral, the oldest cathedral in Norway. That's Stavanger Domen. And on this Valberg, and then this tower. And now, are you laughing at this or are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at the background picture.
Good. What does this val means? I don't think they know. So they have made something which is this. Which is this. You saw the picture from the music and from some like this, and they had used it for him. What does this mean? Val. It is this. Valberg means rock. Val rock. What is Valur? Have you some Icelandic people in? Yes?
Wait.
You know what it is? Valur?
Yeah, away.
No.
No.
It's an old name for hawk. The hunting bird. Hawk. A hunter. And the hunter lives here because his hunting instrument is to see. So he sees his, when chasing, he sees his capture away from this. So this position to be in relation to this here in the hunting, when we had hunting as the main occupation for living. So these sites are important. That answer was not so bad, but my grandfather, he lived on an under mountain like this, and he had a farm. And we thought this was waves, because they have just sand. But this deep function, you understand this? This is value, which means where the hunt after bird, the fork, this, and you hunt like this. I think this kind of game is important because it is easy, I will take this point from him, it is easy to transform something we see and we don't know. So this we know. It's a house in. But this is Ludo hunting people here.
Actually, I didn't get the whole story here. So I hope you didn't make fun of me.
Be careful.
But
It's very good to have order, and then not this order, but counter order. This is counter order.
seems like actually this machine does not track the. Yeah, now but I have enough pictures, but actually this was, I think, was one of the most important ones. About the idea for all the one concept, so, okay.
I can't, actually I can't help it.
Okay, we'll try again. This is, if you remember the situation, east side, Stavanger. This is the Sirisha project, or our proposal for the Sirisha. Actually, we've come so far that this is the developed one. And we had a very nice lecture earlier this morning, this evening, in China. We're not noticing at all. We had a nice lecture earlier this morning, or this evening, from China about the snake. And actually, I said that we were very inspired by the seafront housing, the old seafront housing. That was a very important part of Stavanger city, and how it was, in a way, making the contact to the sea, and also the shapes and forms. But in this site here, in the old days, we had a reef here, and just water in on the site where it is now stone and rocks, and it's going to become this building soon. But in his lecture, he was talking about a snake, and actually the first thing we were talking about also was the snake, because here we don't have landscape, so we have to make one with the building. And on the one hand side, this is a shelter against the wind and the sea. At the same time, this side against the west, catches the sun and makes it good to be in the outdoor spaces with little wind and much sun. So in a way we made a climatic shelter and tried to make good outdoor spaces. Yeah, now it's inside, you see if it works. It's just some sections of the volumes. It's up to 7th floor, the highest. And there's parking beneath. In the Norwegian wood program, we have to be aware of both the universal use of the building. It should be good for everyone, also the disabled and the people problems with moving, seeing, and also with breathing. So we have to be aware of all this, but we try in many ways to get it into the main shape, as here, as an architectural thing. And here is the little study of the outdoor spaces. This is just volumes, but we have a main axis this way, which is of wood and other materials on the sides. And it's more public in the middle, and here it's more, in a way, private. I'll show that in the plan. Towards the sides of the middle axe, there are in a way more softer ground and grass and green. That makes it possible to, in a way, even though it's public, become more intimate and private. This shows the activity axe, which actually is meant for everything like boccia, basketball, football, and things like that. And this should be very clear, also for people who have problems with seeing. So we're going to use, when we're building this, we're also going to use a lot of tactile maps for people who have problems with seeing. You're not taking wrong looking and seeing. This shows that we have to develop this competition proposal to show that it's realistic. So we actually paid by the municipality to take it a step further on. And at the time, we have made some new apartments. It's not meant to say so much about them here. But we took this example, part of the building. Actually, I'm missing some of the most important images here. But when we got the snake, we also had to divide the volume into many spaces so we could have a good view towards the Rifylke, also from the inner rooms, and also to make it, in a way, better spaces and more like irregular spaces between all these volumes. This is the developed project. This is made for sale. And we can see the views we get beneath and some other places besides or between the houses into the beautiful landscape here. This is actually not the facade that we would like to use, but we do not agree totally with the Danes in everything. This shows just the same volume, a section of it. Not so very interesting here. But we had, when we started developing it, we had actually to show that this was meant to be. And it became, of course, very difficult when we started to have windows in every apartment and so on. But every apartment should have, on the one hand side, the view against the east, and they're open in the middle, so you get both the good view, nice view, and also good sun conditions into your apartment. Every 158 or 196 apartments. And for people who have problems with moving, found something livsløp in Norge. Every apartment has the possibility to have what we call livsløp standard. Means you can use a wheelchair in your apartment. This is a part of a facade, and we're actually discussing now we think this is in many ways is quite nice, but we have to take a step back and actually make it as stronger as the idea we had, and that was all about the seaside seafront housing or houses, and now it is, we think, a bit too much futuristic. It's nice in many ways, but we have to go back. This is some sketches I did for to show how the houses becomes a shelter against the wind, the hard wind from the southeast in wintertime, also from the northwest in summertime. So on one side against the sea, we have to use the body of the volume to avoid wind. And on the other side, the little wind that comes there, we have to use vegetation, but not too close to the land sea. This shows the main hard wind, rough wind in wintertime and in summertime. The biggest here is the hardest wind. It comes from south and southeast, winter, northwest, summertime. So we think this has made it quite a good, we make it quite a good shelter. This shows much, and this has some studies for the buildings, and we see here in the morning from the east, get sun into most of the apartments. At noon, of course, get sun in most of the apartments, and in the evening, it's of course perfect. This inner outer areas are more for is on a level higher, 40 centimeters, I think. And this area, or these buildings, are for families with children. This area is more for couples. These are for students, and these are for the seniors. So we wanted to make good mix and also good variation of the size of the apartment. I actually have some images of that, but it's good. We have to use a lot of wood in this project, of course, and that's one of the criteria in wheat wood. You have to use it more and in a new way than most of the commercial buildings today. This is first the facade. Actually, when we're developing this proposal, we contacted came in contact with Valtontaina, who is also a part of the project team. He's a well-known Austrian architect. He's very expert in wood. This is an example from Austria. This is in a way wooden tiles. We call it shingle facade. All these are hand cut and should be untreated. This is this is the facade we want to have on Sierra. So we have to, in a way, also develop hand cutting machines if we want to make it like this, because if we do it in this way, the wood may last about 10 to 20 years longer than machine cut. same as in the state churches. I think it's very, very nice. And this is actually an example of this, I think, beautiful facade, which has the same wooden tiles or shingle facade. And that's a roof for bridges and bridges over the roof. This one over 100 years old. We also have to use wood in everything inside. So we are using massive wooden elements, both in the slabs, walls, and the roof. And we didn't want, or we don't want to use these massive wooden elements with glue or nails. We want to use the type without that, and with plugs, wooden plugs that makes them put together. We also use, of course, this fiber wooden boards as insulation. So the thickness of the wall before we put on the sidings or the facade is about 60 or 65 centimeters. But inside, we wanted to use simple details, and we want to show the wood untreated. And then you have the possibility to, in a way, also be part of doing something in your own apartment, treating them with paint or whatever. But now you can move in here without being frightened if you have asthmatic things or allergic things and so on. So this is just an example of how we're thinking it could be. I think it's quite nice. These are just details, examples. This first one is of the roof. Not of very much interest. The difficult thing about these massive wooden elements is, of course, the sound translation in the slabs. So, actually, our proposal now is to use a stone above the massive wooden element, and then a floor. This is not so interesting. And that's where we are now with the project. I'm sorry that I actually lost a lot of very important pics or images to show the whole idea of the project, but I think you know the main idea. At the time we're, as I said, we're cooperating with Waldorf and Art, developing this project. We're also so lucky to get research needs from Innovation Norway in different projects. That has to do with this one. And hopefully this is going to be sold now in September. So, any questions? Thanks for your time.
What's going to happen with the pipeline?
The municipality owns the land or the site, and they're going to sell it to developers, but they have certain criteria for the developer. You actually have to buy us as well, pay and so on. And you can't just buy the land and build something else. We have made a regulation plan for this site, actually, that we had to change because of our project. That the municipality just went through it too much. So we feel that actually this is going the right way. Exciting time for us. Yes.
Did you have some discussions with the Spanish team who won the...
Yes.
Yeah,
A
could you
little
say
bit.
something?
No, I have to back very far. This machine is too slow.
What was the question? Sorry.
She asked, there's behind this shelf project, we have a European project, which is going to be bid.
Okay.
And we also have a lot of other building projects, which I think is quite exciting. So, but of course, the most exciting is in France. But we have had some meetings with the other architect groups. Not exactly with they couldn't come on that meeting. I'm very sorry about